Oh God, I knew this was going to go wrong. One sec. Let me just add you again. Add you again. One sec. Invite to co-host. Oh, spaces. We need an alternative. This is getting ridiculous. Right, Angie, come on down.
You gotta love it. What happened?
Right.
What'd you do? I was
Ridiculous.
like, he fell off the roof in Malta. We're done.
Oh no. No, it's getting really bad. And just quickly, yeah, I think I'm gonna try and work a way
Let's
where
just
we
do it
can
live. Let's start over. Let's just
just
pretend the
start over.
last time never happened. Yeah.
Also going forward as well, I am looking for a way where we can also like live podcast this as well. So we do have it kind of running in the background so people can flip between that. So that's something I'm working on.
That
But anyway,
works.
let's start again.
Yeah.
Nothing discussed on this basis session constitutes trade or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ Global Limited, Traders PIQ or PIQ Suite, or the wonderful host, which is Angie, and myself, Ryan. Again, sorry about that, the false start. Angie, over
False
to you.
start. False start on the PIQ suite. We got it. So, but no, all right. We're just gonna start all over from the start. So if you heard this first go around, just pretend that you didn't. It'll feel like deja vu all over again.
Or something.
You'll be like, this sounds familiar. No, it doesn't. Just listen. All right. So yeah, what we're seeing, one of the biggest things I'm looking at right now is just what we're watching in cash. And so there's gonna be a lot of conversations about what's taking place in the corn market specifically. And there'll be some folks that are really still kind of surprised, I'll say, by the strength that we've seen in this market, the strength that we've seen in demand and some of these other things, that are still pretty lockstep in their bearish convictions, which is totally fine. We accept all faiths and market beliefs here. But they're still pretty stuck in the bearish side of things that are, they're going to point towards the relaxing of spreads and some of the relaxing of basis and say, here, yeah, we have a lot of corn, which we do and we should. This time of year is one of those things that the farmer, you're looking at cash flow needs, and cash flow needs this year especially are going to be exceptional, or at least probably greater to start the year than what we had last year. A lot of folks kind of rolled a loss into the end of the year and have been really tight on cash for a while now. And so to see grain work its way into the pipeline now should not be surprising. It's a very seasonal thing, for one. For two, for a lot of my growers and a lot of growers around the country that I work with, we've seen the cash price that they're getting for the corn that they're producing increase by, $1 a bushel from the lows. And I've had a few guys be like, well, it never got down into like the 325, 330 range. And I like to say, yeah, I blacked out too when things got real bad, because it wasn't great. And we've had a pretty exceptional rebound here. And so to see the spreads relax, to see basis back off, to see grain start to work into the pipeline, as we get a rally, a significant rally off the lows and kind of enter into a seasonal increase in grain movement, that shouldn't be surprising, though, we'll have to kind of determine what the new range is in corn after we got the updated USDA numbers on Tuesday. But imagine now we're probably looking on the March board, where 435 to 440 becomes our new support, 450 probably becomes our resistance, but we will be watching that. On soybeans, we're going to be watching to see if we can make it through $10 on the January board. We've been playing a fun game of peekaboo with that one, it feels like. So I was talking to my growers yesterday and I'm like, if we can't break out above 10, it makes me feel like we revisit the low end of the range, which right now the short-term low end of the range is 20 cents lower. I mean, we're really looking at probably one of the tightest soybean ranges I feel like we've seen in some time. And so I feel like that breaks out, but it's going to have to come from some type of news, likely on the cash side of things, or maybe from China. So I'll stop there at the end of point one, because it's the perfect segue into point two, but I'll see if you've got a...
No, I'm being a good boy.
I always feel bad because I just keep talking and you're like,
This is great.
Excuse me, miss. But so point two, China news, just really kind of watching what had happened yesterday afternoon. We got a bit of what I would call positive headlines. I don't know. I feel like I'm really kind of trying to read between the lines as much as possible. But, we did see Trump invite Xi to the inauguration, which everyone's like, oh, he would never dream of going. And I'm like, that would be awesome. So we'll be watching to see if maybe he's like, yeah, I'll do that. We're friends. We're the best friends that, have ever been. And so we'll see, but it does show to a certain extent, that there is an attempt at goodwill, at least in that regard. We did see also trade officials say they're ready to engage with Trump's trade team. And so I think that's super important to just kind of recognize that the majority of Trump's trade team is the same team that put together phase one in the last go around. And, the Chinese officials know that. And they're like, yeah, let's talk.
I tell you one thing I don't miss from the first go around with the Chinese trade talks is the 90% done line that we heard wheeled out every day. Do you remember that back in the day?
Of
Oh, we're
course, I
90%
remember that.
there. We're 90% there. I'm like, stop,
That's what we would
please.
have. Every Friday after the close, we'd have something happen that was positive, and then Sunday night, they'd pull the football out from underneath us. I mean, it was just a constant, and so we'll be watching that for sure. As well as go
Quick
ahead.
one as well
Yeah.
is obviously Trump has thrown an invitation over to Xi to attend the inauguration.
Yes, which is huge. Like I said, I mean, I think to me that's a great olive branch. And like
Yeah,
CBS is like, there's no way he'll go. Xi will go. And I'm like, actually, like I love that so many people are like, we'll never know what China's gonna do. And then at the same time, those same people are like, well, obviously China will.
yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, yeah, we have no idea.
But like you said,
But
like you said, it's a huge olive branch, regardless if he decides to take that olive branch. But at least he was
yeah,
invited, which
yes,
shows,
he
I
was
think,
invited,
such a
and I think there's a lot more there than what we want to let on or what the press wants to let on. And so that's one of the things that I'm watching where, after Trump had left office, Xi had said that he does respect him and he respects him as a negotiator. And I think we want to try to make it painted to where Trump's going to come in and just bull in the China shop this thing. And I am not a Trump fan. Like, believe me, like I
oh,
almost hate that I have to be like, yes, he's doing, but like the
Angie,
reality is we
I,
have to
I,
go ahead.
we've just had the political blast that I did with Helen
Right.
just now
Yeah.
ago, and literally I was like, please don't. I'm not. This is not an opinion on Trump. I'm not giving you my opinion on Trump,
That's
but
exactly
I'm
it.
going to say
Yeah.
something good about him. And it's so difficult because he's divided so many people. It's like it's okay to say something good about someone. It doesn't mean you have to love them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. I'm coming in about
things aren't so binary in the real world.
I'll say I'm unbiased, but I'm almost more biased in the opposite direction. But I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to come in and they aren't going to put 10% tariffs on the second day in office. And, like it's one of those things where you have to just kind of watch and see. And this morning, we also got another big flash sale of soybeans to unknown, and so earlier this week, there was a lot of talk about China working to cancel, and everyone was like, oh, China's canceling beans out of the PNW. The very next day, they bought 3 cargoes out of the Gulf. They're still buying beans out of the PNW, and so there's a lot of things that are going on that a lot of people want to think that they know, and act as though they're there at the seat, at the table in the negotiations. And it's like, no, you're just basically pulling that out of thin air. And it's sweet, but let's stop,
It's like, sorry, I know I've already hit my quota of interrupting, but also just one like a great rule of thumb to live by, especially when we're talking about markets and analysts and stuff like that. Anyone that says anything with certainty should be avoided.
Oh, 100%. I agree. Wait, that's 99. I agree with that 99 point. What? No, but for real, if you can say never, always, or, act as though you know something that no one else does, I agree with that. Avoid them at all costs. And so point 3 is, just about, it plays on that regard or that post right there, just in the sense that we're going to be paying attention to, some more word out of China when it comes to that conference that they had this week and what they're working on there. But it was interesting to see this morning, post conference, they did say that stimulating consumer demand was going to be one of their biggest priorities in 25. And so to me, a lot of folks are still trying to say that Chinese consumer demand is poor, which it, has been up until about the last month or so. And we are starting to see some pretty significant signs that, their cash for clunkers and some of these other programs that they're offering are starting to work. So it'll be interesting to see, what they do, what changes they make, and most interesting to see the ways that the analysts say it's still disappointing. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. But we'll continue to watch that and see, because it'll all influence what happens with grains and whether or not we see China come in and buy.
Exactly that. Well, as always, thank you so much. I can only apologize to everyone. Big shout out to Boyd, who obviously shares my disgust for spaces from his reply to me. So thank you both for sharing my hatred there. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, apologies for the technical issues at the start. I'm blaming Elon Musk. It's definitely not me or Angie.
Never.
And Angie, thank you so much to you, and we will hear from you again tomorrow.
I will be here.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.